How are you, grade 6? Today, inshallah, we'll start the second part in our lesson, Lunar Eclipse. If you remember, the last session I told you that lunar eclipse happens when the moon, the earth, the sun are on one straight line and the earth in the middle, hiding sunlight from reaching the moon. And I told you also that there are two types of lunar eclipse: total lunar eclipse and partial lunar eclipse. Total lunar eclipse happens when the whole moon enters the shadow area umbra of the earth, and the partial lunar eclipse happens when part of the moon enters the shadow area umbra of the earth and the other part of the moon enters the semi-shadow area of the earth. What will happen if the whole moon enters the semi-shadow area of the earth, which is called penumbra? In this case, it is called lunar non-eclipse or no eclipse. So, when the whole moon enters the semi-shadow area penumbra of the earth, the moonlight turns to be faint without being eclipsed. So, this is called lunar non-eclipse or no eclipse. So, it is not considered from the types of lunar eclipse. If you remember, in the solar eclipse, I told you that there are three types of solar eclipse: total solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse, and the last one, annular solar eclipse. But here, in the lunar eclipse, there is no annular lunar eclipse. Why? Give reason. Because the earth has a great size relative to the moon. So, the earth had a greater size than the moon. So, it always blocks all sunlight when it comes between the sun and the moon. So, this is why there is no annular lunar eclipse here. At the end of our lesson, I want to make a comparison between solar and lunar eclipse as a revision. Solar eclipse, it happens when the moon comes between the earth and the sun on one straight line. Lunar eclipse, it happens when the earth comes between the moon and the sun on one straight line. Solar eclipse, it happens in the morning. Lunar eclipse, it happens at night. Solar eclipse, it takes 7 minutes and few seconds. Doesn't exceed 7 minutes and few seconds. But the lunar eclipse, it may last for 1 hour or 2 hours or more than 2 hours. What about the harm? Solar eclipse causes serious harms to the eyes. But the lunar eclipse doesn't cause any harm to eyes. Safety precautions. Solar eclipse requires safety precautions. It requires special glasses to observe solar eclipse. But the lunar eclipse doesn't require any precautions. It doesn't require any special glasses to observe it. The types of solar eclipse: 3 types: total solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse, annular solar eclipse. But the types of lunar eclipse, only two types: total lunar eclipse and partial lunar eclipse. Remember well that the lunar eclipse, Sun, Earth, Moon are on one straight line and the Earth in the middle. But the solar eclipse, the Sun, the Moon, the Earth are on one straight line, but here the Moon in the middle. Now we finished our lesson. Thanks a lot, grade 6, for watching. Goodbye.